I've always known what level up means. Everybody knows what level up means. It doesn't take a lot of explanation, and hence that's why we came up with the title in our mission, which is level up, and we added in and live. Because why are you leveling up? It's so that you can live your life and not just exist. So we all know what level up means, but we don't know the words. Wait for it. Level down. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. Level down, man. Oh, that guy's leveling down. Or it just doesn't sound right because we're so used to saying positive things like level up. Oh, it's time to level up, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
But leveling down is the default. There's either level up or there's level down. There isn't level medium. There isn't level flat. There's no flat level. The nature of the universe is decay, right? Nothing lasts forever. Everything is constantly having to either be renewed or crumbling, like a house. When it's built, depreciation it starts to kick in the moment that house is built, and over time, the value of it goes up, but what the property is worth and how it's actually structured, it devalues over time, right? And that's because it decays. The wood, the pillars, the everything that goes into a house, give it 300 years, the house will no longer be there. If you're from Scotland, your castle will most likely still be standing, but if you're in a wooden home, it will decay over time, right? So it's a level down. That's the default. And our minds, our bodies, what are they doing from the moment we're born? We're moving towards the end of our lives, right? Not in a depressing way, just facts.
Yeah.
So if that's true, leveling down is the default. If you sit around, your body decays. You don't educate your brain. You don't use it. It goes to mush. All the things is leveling down all the time. So you don't get to just stay in the middle. You have to level up. You
Yeah.
have to, just to stay even. Think about that for a second. You have to level up every day, 0.1% just to stay even. Now you do that repetitively over time, it compounds, and then you actually level up past even, right? You're going over the midline. As soon as you stop, you're going to start ticking back down again. Leveling down is real. It's a real thing. I remember for myself, and during COVID, I've been working out my whole life, and COVID hit. I don't know what happened. I'd hit some big goals right before COVID hit, and then COVID arrived, and everything stopped. My working out stopped. There was no reason for anything. There was no reason to go. There was nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And I remember looking back up about 2.5 years later. I'm like feeling miserable, brain fog. My body. I hadn't been working out like I had used to. Everything had leveled down. I made more money than I had ever made before at that point. And I felt miserable. So the money had nothing to do with it. Getting money does not solve your problems. It does not complete your dream because everything else was leveled down. So today, maybe you can resonate with that. Maybe there's a time in your life you've been going up, you've been doing all the right things, and then you feel this moment. You pull your head up, and it's all gone away. It's been their time has passed, and you suddenly realize, man, I'm not doing those good things anymore. And now I'm in this spot of level down. So today we're going to talk about 3 of the key things that is dragging you down constantly, taking you away from the midline, from the leveled up status that you might have had before. Maybe there's some things in here today that you're doing currently. And the great news is you can turn it around today. 0.1%, not 1%, 0.1. Anybody can do that. Small little decisions every day over time. You just get to where you're going to be, where you want to be. So Sean, you ever leveled down before?
100%, man. And I leveled down. When you sent me the title of the episode, you said 3, and just for the sake of time, we could probably come up with hundreds
Yes, there's
of
so
level
many.
down moments.
Yeah.
But for the sake of time and for this episode, I've got 3, like you said, that I consider level down moments that I have been in myself, that I've been able to reflect. And my encouragement today is for the individuals listening today is to go, hey, is this me? Is this happening in my life? Because I was a blind spot of mine when I reflected back in these moments of my life. Because when you're going through the thick of things, when you're leveling down, it's typically you've got a million other things going on, so you don't actually know. Like you said, it sneaks up on you,
Yes.
and before you realize it, it's almost too late. And so this move number one down, leveling down, is that I have made a note on is surrounding yourself with negative energy. There's nothing more depleting than negative energy around you. And this doesn't just have to be your friend, your family. This can be the news. This can be social media. There's so much negative talk, there's so much negative energy. Stress or life is so stressful for starters. Why have the negative energy around you? And so the main point here is the people you surround yourself with on a daily basis, from the moment you get up, from the moment you go to sleep, is making a huge impact on your mindset, energy, and progress. And staying around these negative people will not only drain you, but will also push you, like you said, Ewan, to stagnation, to complacency. There is a saying that has been tossed around on the internet that I used to say, and I still say to this day, but I've kind of changed it up a little bit. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang around. So the 5 people you hang around on a daily, weekly basis, you are the sum. That can go for income, mindset, emotional intelligence, all the above. Here's what I've learned over time. You are the sum of the 5 people you allow influence you. So
Yes.
whether that's podcast, the news, a mentor, coach, you're the sum of those 5 people that you allow influence you. So choose your circle wisely. And one of the things that I've also applied in my own life as far as a action to be able to get myself out of the hole is audit the circle. So auditing those people around you, what do you talk about? What are the conversations that you're having? And I was asking myself these questions. Is there complaints when you're talking, or is you talking about optimism, realism, positivity? Are these people that you're talking to on a daily basis, as far as a podcast, YouTube, or the news, or in person, are they fueling your growth, or are they holding you back in fear, limiting beliefs, self-doubt? And so for me, it was very hard, and it took time to make those hard decisions about who and what that I was allowing to get into my mind as far as that goes. I'm gonna share a quick little story. Do you have any thoughts on that, Ewan, before I go into the story?
Well, yeah, the perfect thought is like I had mentioned during COVID, I just trailed off, did not see it coming. I was so focused on whatever I was focused on at the time and did not see where I was leveling down. And then I get a phone call or text, can't remember which one it was, from you. Hey, put a mastermind together.
Mm.
I said, that sounds my soul jumped out. I'm like, I'm in. I don't care where. I don't care like who's there. I'm coming. I think just I knew I needed that environment of just what is mastermind positivity. And you said, let's go. And that was probably my turning moment. I wouldn't be the runner. And I feel like I might be almost on the verge of a serious runner. No, I wouldn't be a runner. I wouldn't be running at all if it wasn't for that group. So many things I wouldn't be doing if it wasn't for that group. So I surrounded myself with the positive energy, with the guys, all wanting to level up. The purpose of that whole group was level up, not level flat,
Yeah,
not level down. It was level up, and there was zero room for leveling down in that group. It was impossible
that's
not to.
right.
It was impossible not to. And all good things came from that. So yeah, I think that speaks for itself right there.
When I was growing the insurance business, I was very hungry for bringing individuals on to the agency. And this was before we really had core values in place. We really had a tight niche of an understanding in culture, workplace, and a lot of the things that we have now. And this was about 4 to 5 years ago. We had hired this individual, and he was a strong personality. He was a driver. And originally, when I had hired this individual, I thought, hey, look, this guy's going to replace myself as the sales leader, maybe even as the CEO of the company.
Mm.
And that was kind of my vision behind it. He had come in. Everything was fine and dandy the first 30, 60, 90 days. He was coachable. He was leaning in. He was hungry. He was producing. He was making results. And then I realized about 120 days in, and you know what they say, 6 months, you find out true colors behind somebody's character.
Mm.
I started realizing that the environment when I would be there, it was like walking on eggshells around this individual. You ever walk around eggshells around somebody because
Yeah.
of the negative energy, because of the
Yeah.
baggage, because
Don't want
of,
to erupt.
yes,
Yeah.
because of what's going on behind the scenes emotionally, at
Yeah.
home, personally. And at the time, I didn't have all this development and leadership, and it was a big blind spot. I didn't know how to handle it because I was a young business owner, entrepreneur. But I just found myself over and over, month after month, just walking on eggshells around this individual. Fast forward about 10 months in, I get a call from this individual because I'm working from the home office this time because I needed to separate myself from the negative energy. I
Wow.
just subconsciously had to separate myself. I get a phone call from this individual. We have carriers at the insurance company that give us rewards. And in these rewards, it's something that I use to leverage and take the team out for an outing, play golf or food or whatever it is to reinvest that back into the team. Well, he had called me and directly had told me that because he had written the policies, he was titled to those funds. And this completely blindsided me. And of course, I didn't know how to handle it at the time. But this had happened over several months now, where just little instances like this, as far as the negative energy, and it just depleted me. My resting heart rate would go up. My HRV was just suppressed.
Dang.
I remember having sleepless nights, anxiety, Ewan, and I never could put a pulse on it. I never understood. And this goes to everything that we're talking about. It's sneaking up on you after
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 months of this happening.
Yeah.
And I
Dang.
finally got with my team. We make an executive decision, and we ended up letting the individual go. And let me tell you something. From that moment on, the Holy Spirit works in mysterious ways. We have been on the up and up after 3 to 4 years since letting that individual go.
Wow.
That one negative person can be the biggest game changer if you're listening to this in your life. Who is that? Maybe you have been experiencing these feelings, these emotions, just like I have, walking on eggshells, feeling like it's never enough. There's no grace, there's no compassion, there's no gratitude, there's no appreciation.
Mm.
Where is that draining you? Where is that depleting you? Because you need to reflect on that, because that's going to pull you back. That's going to stagnate you. It's going to drain your energy. It's going to deplete your mindset, and it's going to deplete your progress and what you're doing. Not even to mention your team members and everybody else around you.
Man, what a powerful lesson. What a lesson worth its weight in gold. Literally
Yeah.
learning that and being able to take that and do something good with it. And I love that you said the influence, because I used to struggle with it back in the day. It was like, well, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around. And I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of all the people who are not good in my life. But then I thought, but what if it's someone I love and they're
Mm.
just not, someone that I would be that I'd want to hang around, because I don't want to get any of their negative energy. But that's why I had heard that influence. I'm like, I love that, because then I can still be around these people and influence them. I tell my kids, I don't do what other people do if it's negative. They will either roll my way, or but I will never go the direction that's going to be negative
Yeah.
for me. I won't do it. Um, and
Agreed.
so influence is, you can still, because Jesus hung around with just the worst of the worst. And it
Yeah.
wasn't, he wasn't getting influenced by them. It was the other
Yeah.
direction. And he inspired, motivated, and they aspired when they saw him, right? They
Yeah.
wanted to make a move, but he wasn't influenced by them. So the people you do hang around with that are good for you, you allow them to influence you on good things.
Yeah.
So kind of frees people up. I
Yeah.
remember back in the day, I'm like, oh man, I got to cut all people out. And I could never sit right with that, because I'm like, well, they're still human beings, and they need help. You know what? They need more leadership than anybody. And if there's going to be influence involved, I'm the one that's going to do it. So yeah, I love that as the first point. So
Amen to that. And transitioning into the move down number 2 that I've also learned is settling for comfort over growth. And I think this aligns with what we're talking about as far as sometimes we can get in that pocket, in that zone where, we don't want things to change. It's depending on the scenario or the situation. And for me, it's like, we're human beings. We're lazy. At least I am. And I sometimes get comfortable. And sometimes you just need a wake up call, a come to Jesus talk, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
to overcome that growth. And so one of the things that I've learned is not only is comfort zones dangerous, but the moment you start avoiding that discomfort, you stop growing and then you transition or slide into complacency. And
Mm-hmm.
so I realized that 3 years ago, and I've shared that on previous episodes, and it snuck up on me. It took multiple years to sneak up on me.
Mm.
And so I realized, I'm like, Ewan, why am I not seeing any progress? Why am I stagnant? Why am I experiencing the same results over and over and over again? And it wasn't until I started asking myself these questions, obviously hiring a coach, that I realized, dude, I am comfortable right now. I've built a business, I've put in the work, I've got the cash flow, I've done all these things, and I'm comfortable. And so when I was building the insurance business, I hit the $1 million club. Check the list off. Check the mark. Achievement. Great. We were a profitable business. Check the box. Great. It was a well-oiled machine. This was my North Star. This is what I set out to do. Check the box. Great. All this equivalated to comfort
Mm-hmm.
because I was just checking the boxes. And it led me to a place where I call it, what we've learned from Maxwell is the leadership lid. Okay, great. You've achieved all these different things in these milestones, but now what? And so if you're listening to this and you're like me, maybe you've achieved something in life, and then now you found yourself comfortable or stagnant or complacent. You're a human being. You're not alone. I've been there. I was just there. And there's hope. There is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And just reflect on that. It's time to look at yourself in the mirror. And I'm just speaking to my younger self, and realize, oh, there's a lid on my leadership, Ewan. There is, because of the stagnant and because of the comfort, guess what everybody around me is going to experience?
Mm-hmm.
Comfort, stagnation. It all starts and rises and falls on leadership.
Yeah.
We talked about that before the episode today. So if you're listening to this, let this be a key pivotal moment in your life, because you're a leader listening to this, male or female, in your household, in your business, in your career. It all starts and rises and falls on you. So the moment you realize that maybe you're feeling or experiencing comfort or stagnation or the rat race or doing the same thing over, it's because there's a lid on your leadership. There was a lid on my leadership. Once I realized this, a light bulb went off. A pivotal moment in my life. It's like the elephant came off the chest. Oh, I'm the leader. Whether it's in a business, a career, a podcast, my family, there's a lid on what I know and my capacity and my ability. Once I understood this, guess what I started focusing on, Ewan? Leadership.
Mm.
And ever since then, we have been able to, this month, October of 2024, out of 9+ years, we are setting an all-time record at the insurance company. Our leaders within the organization are growing. In the last 24 to 36 months have been just this incredible ride, because I've decided to get comfortable getting uncomfortable, which I've shared this on social media, challenging your emotions, your spiritual, your physicality, all that. Challenging that is hard, but that is what it's going to allow you to get to where you want to go in these different areas of life. Ewan, what are your thoughts, brother?
When you say the word stagnation makes you think of if you had a river and you diverted the river into a big hole, a giant hole, and you create this beautiful pond. It's beautiful, fresh water, clean. Leave it for a year, 2 years, and you'll come back to that freshwater pond, and it will have algae, mildew. It will not smell good because you've had stagnant water in there. All kinds of different things. That it's not somewhere you'd want to go swimming. And we're the same, right? It's stagnation. We're not much different in that pond. When you stop the flowing energy of that river and you make it stop into one body of water, it goes south, it goes sour,
Yeah.
and it's unsustainable. And so you could tap back into that river, which is now here's the trick though, or why it's so deceiving is, well, you don't have to do anything with that pond. Steady state, like you said, the comfort zone. You don't have to expend any energy, and it feels very comfortable to not have to use energy. We try and conserve energy. The brain will always try and conserve.
Yep.
However, if you conserve it to the point where it is no longer flowing, there's no progress. And human beings need progress because, like you said, you hit your goals. We were just talking about that, the mastermind group.
Yep.
You can have all the things that you've chased and that you want, and you can mountaintop, get to the peak, and be miserable because where is the next piece of movement, right? Which direction are you going to go? There's nowhere to go if you're stopped. And we don't like stopping. We want somewhere to go in life. So it's very
Yes.
it's alluring to have that comfort. We all do want that. And here is the trick with this is that it's beautiful that you built this thing that can sustain the comfort with the knowledge now for you, knowing you then move on to whatever else, you go into something bigger, right?
Yep.
And you
Yep.
continue it going, whatever got you there, you don't stop it. You just realize, that's another foothold in the climb where I'm headed. And it never stops. And it's a beautiful journey. The progress, human beings need progress to feel good. I heard this the other day and I thought it was amazing. It's like, achieving your dreams will not fix your problems. I was like, oh
Yes.
man, that's powerful. A lot of people think, oh, I'll get
Yep.
my dream, I'll get what it was that I'm after, and all my problems will go away. It doesn't work like that. No, you're always going to have problems. And so that's why we've got an episode coming up called You Need More Problems. And it's not what you think, right? It's a really good thing to have problems because it means things are happening in your life. If you don't have problems, I'll show you an unhappy person.
Yeah.
It's
Amen.
a weird thing to say, but
Amen.
it's just true. So
Yeah. Moving into the final and third one is, which ties into everything that we just mentioned, the first two, failing to invest in yourself. And so for me, failing to continuously invest in that personal development is the fastest way to level down. If you're not learning, evolving, sharpening your skills, then what's the opposite effect of that? You're falling behind. And so I realized that in my own life, that why was I struggling? Why was I experiencing all these failures and these disconnects, these ruined relationships? It's because I wasn't evolving as a human being. I wasn't learning and asking myself the questions and sharpening the skill sets to the person, to the man, to the husband, to the business leader, to the friend that I wanted to become. And the beautiful thing is there's hope. This is a journey. And if you recognize it about yourself today, listening to this like I did, then there's something you can do about it. And like Ewan said at the beginning of the episode, you can start working on just small incremental changes. And if you need direction, if you need help, reach out to us. Reach out to us at Level Up and Live. That is the first step that I have learned is invest in yourself. And if you don't know where to turn, that's what we're creating at Level Up and Live in our community is the guidance, the support, the accountability in that investing into yourself when you're doing some of these leveling down moments. And so the moment I realized, Ewan, when I was stagnant, when I was complacent, when I was doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results and experiencing the frustration, the anger, and putting it out on everybody else around me, my wife, my team members, my friends, I'm like, oh, it's because of the guy in the mirror. There's a lid on my leadership. I stopped. At what point did I stop evolving as a leader? At what point did I stop evolving and sharpening my skill sets? Well, if you're a human being listening to this, we're all going to experience this. Because it's not if, but when that happens, and maybe you're going through it, maybe you haven't gone through it. But if you're going through it, then it starts with the leadership lid. It starts with you looking at yourself in the mirror, realizing, oh, I'm the problem. It's me. Isn't there a song like that, Ewan?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think most
I'm
songs.
the problem. It's me. Every time I hear that
songs,
song, I'm like, yes, that's my song right there. I'm the problem. It's me.
when you say the word investment, invest in yourself. When you invest in crypto, portfolio, stock market, real estate, you can see the return. You can see the value go up. Investing in yourself, you don't get to see like a dollar amount. You don't see it right away. And just like you don't see a dollar amount go up in your investment in any stock market deal, right? It's going to take years. You have to be in it for the long haul. When you invest in yourself, when I think about this, there is no quick fixes. I've done all the quick fixes, and none of them worked. In fact, the quick fixes end up setting you back because you end up feeling hopeless. And so you have to take the mindset of investment, right? It's going to take time, the progress, the 0.1%. If you think about the end result, like you want that pot of gold at the end of it all and you want it fast, that's not 0.1%, and you can't get it without it. You want it, but you're not willing to put the 0.1% or now I hadn't in the past. And then you look up, you've not been investing that 0.1% every single day, and you're exactly the same place you were 3 years later because you didn't do it. And if you had just put the tiny bits of consistency together, you'd have exactly what you want. And I've experienced that over and over. It's much like when you're hungry, a quick fix is junk food, it's fast food. You go have that burger. It did not serve you well. Invest in your body and your mind and go do the salad. Go eat a steak and something healthy.
Yes.
That's the long-term investment in yourself that you will see the dividends. You'll see the six-pack show up, right? That would be a visual of your investment on yourself, right? Who doesn't want that? And all it is 0.1%, tiny little decision. All you have to do is drive 100 more yards to Salada and not Wendy's, right? And that's a decision you have to make. So it's an investment in yourself. And we're talking about food in the body there, but that's true in finances. That's true in your leadership more than anything. Is investing in yourself. No quick fixes. Just take the time. And like we just talked about in the previous point, is that it's the journey, right? The point one is your journey, and you will love that. It's the progress we love. Remember, not the outcome, not the dream, because it won't fix your problems. If there was a fix to your problems, it is that you're working on your problems all the time. And I think that is a level up leadership move. And the opposite of leveling down with that is go get the fast food. Don't invest in this. Don't read a book. Go watch the TV. And watch things fall apart. We've all been there. It's we all can relate to it. We know what it feels like. Maybe you're right in the middle of it right now. And the great news is 0.1% starts today. And everything changes in 12 months.
Amen, man. Wrapping things up. Take inventory of your environment, those that you're surrounding yourself with. Get comfortable with discomfort. Get out of that comfort zone into the growth zone and make investing in yourself a priority. And remember, the only way is up, baby. And if you're serious about leveling up, then in life and business, listening and share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. And on top of that, put the cherry on top. If today's episode hit home for you, drop a review. We would greatly appreciate it. We don't do any paid marketing or advertising at this time. We would greatly appreciate what you liked about the episode, and tag us in the biggest takeaway on social media, and let's keep leveling up together.
Level up and live.
Level up and live.